When you're telling a story in a live performance environment, you effectively have a congregation. The atoms of air that are in that shared space will react to how everybody is breathing and feeling. What a set design does is to either contract or expand the molecules around the event. If I stick the lid on, then the boiling is going to happen faster. Audiences, I think, are incredibly sophisticated. And I think when something's happening and there's a truth, everybody in the audience gets it. And I think that's why people bother to gather. The more time I've spent in audiences, the more time I've spent in that condition of being amongst a group of people experiencing something, the more tuned in I've become to what works and what's essential. And I guess, therefore, the less patient I've become with anything that's inessential. I always considered space as a means of expression and a means of storytelling.
Take this one away and try it with the long one and that one and on that angle. So
I like being in a situation where I'm only just sure it might work, just on the edge of possibility. We are, as a species, chemically rewarded by the new. Every time anything new enters into our sphere of consciousness, a little squirt of dopamine happens in our brain and we are rewarded. I think I'm probably as addicted as any, if not more. My process is very iterative. An idea starts as a sketch and then it materializes into a form, something rather easy to mold, like cardboard. We make models of everything in this studio. We create everything as a sculpture. We will process through 20 or 30 perhaps versions of each idea, because any idea is only ever part of a continuum of thought. I walk in and look at these objects as if they were objects in an art gallery. It's actually almost like looking at the stars and find the lines that join things together. What I strive to do in any genre that I'm working in, whether it's opera or theatre or dance, fashion, I try to understand the spirit of each piece. You find so often that the central gesture in a play or the central gesture in a dance piece or the core gesture in a piece of music, often they're driven by the same thing. I might find that I create a very similar shape for a Rihanna performance as I might for a Wagner performance. And I might find that I create a similar line for Beyoncé as I might for an 18th century opera that will then resurface in a piece of work for Kanye. There's a purity at the heart of most of what people do. I can't actually think of a day when I haven't felt like I'm failing. I feel like I'm failing most of the time. My favorite practice is when I sit at the opening night of a piece of theatre that I've designed or a concert. I look at it, and in my mind, normally what I do is I redesign the entire thing and come up with another thing that it could be. And I think, again, it's that addiction to revision and to revitalizing the train of thought. I'm very, very rarely satisfied with anything that I make, and I think that's probably what drives me to continue trying to fail a little better the next time I fail, really. You also have a responsibility to your audience. They might have flown across continents to turn up. They might have slept on the street. So when they come in, there's already a huge space full of energy before you even start. They feel and are aware of the response of one another. The thing about what I make is that it doesn't exist for very long. Their endurance is in the memories of people who saw them. In the end, they will only exist as bits of starch in the brain.